for slot A, B, and C, A, B, and C, A, B, and C, A, B, and C. Did I say that right? I think I did say that right. For slots A, B, and C. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am Charming. Today I'm going to break down the actual equipment and items menu that Aegis has on Steelrising. I'm going to actually break it down into eldenring style for you, so that way it kind of makes a lot more sense, especially if you're a Souls player. Also, if you're not a Souls player, this guide is going to help you out as well. I like to do a lot of different guides up over here, so if you enjoy this kind of content, there's going to be all types of guides around here. But you can also feel free to go ahead and like this video. If anything helps you out, go ahead and feel free to comment. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're on our road to 100 subscribers. I appreciate all the support and love you guys have been giving lately. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. So now today, within this menu, I want to start off at the statistics menu, which is the very last of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the very last section of the menu. Now I did break down all of the stats on a video titled Guide to Attributes Eldenring Style. You guys can see that video. There'll be a card somewhere around here, or you can just find it actually in my description down below. But most importantly, you can go there to find any of this information that you might need about what stats are, how to break them down, how to understand them eldenring style, what power, agility, the alchemy is, the entire bottom section, how to switch and understand the weapons. I also even break down the attributes and how they manage up against the weapons, so you can kind of see that and what builds are like and all that kind of stuff in that one video. So if you have not watched the video yet, make sure you go back and actually watch the video. But let's go ahead and start at the beginning, which is equipment. So like I said, I broke down the characteristics and the builds when it comes to the weapons, so you can see all that kind of good stuff here. Just do understand, this is where you can also unequip your weapons, equip your weapons, sort out different stuff. If you have a bunch of weapons, you'll be able to see it all here. However, when you move down, you have your armor, which is underneath that, which is obviously like cosmetic armor, but at the same time it does do a lot of different armor. Now you can see that there's 4 pieces of armor: your headgear, your chest, your legs, and then your jeans, like your torso, your trousers, and then your boots. I said jeans. I guess these automats aren't wearing jeans, and neither do they wear jeans in Elden Ring. I don't know. I mean, unless you know some crazy mods. But whenever you go to the actual armor, you can see that it's all broken down by the headgear and so on and so forth. You see characteristics, so it gives you a number of how much it actually does for your armor, which is that's defense under balance down in the bottom right. You can see that down there, and just to that, next to characteristics on the opposite side, you can see how much balance it'll add, the type of resistance that it might potentially give you, and also in addition to that, you see the endurance, which obviously those kinds of things again are broken down in that stats video. So if you've not seen the stats video, like I said, watch it, and it'll basically help you understand more about what these different things are. A lot of times you are just going to be checking through what does what. You're gonna be looking at whether it's going to be giving you more or less damage. If you are looking to see maybe if, okay, I might want to wear, you know, this piece of this headgear right here, go ahead and just click it. It's okay, like it doesn't do anything. You can go ahead and click it and then compare its stats on the right side and at the bottom to what you might want to wear. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. But in addition to that, you can also hide your hat. You can hide your gear, some of the gear, by just pressing the button. So you see over on the right side over there, you see that I have it on right now, but I can go back and hide it, and now she's not wearing it, except it's going to be doing the same exact amount of, you know, defense or armor as whether I have it on or not. So you can see that it's still technically equipped. Now, going back, once again, also the same thing with the jacket, except this time you can't unequip, or you can't hide the jacket or hide in the other clothes. But it's the exact same thing. So depending on how much damage it's going to do or how protection is going to do, you can tell. Obviously, we all care about the way we look, so we want the drip to look pretty damn good. But you know, at the same time, we want to be making sure that we are protected against a lot of these different enemies. So that is the armor, and that's the equipment section. When it comes to the inventory, there's a lot when it comes to the inventory, and we can even talk about it. We'll talk about it once we get to a Vestal, which is kind of like a grace in Elden Ring. But the inventory is going to kind of be that next like that whenever you pull up your inventory's main menu on Elden Ring, this is what you get. Now this is simplified a lot more than what Elden Ring is, but Elden Ring is also pretty easy to understand. Here also you get to see what the equipment is, the name of it, and all of the entire description. A lot of times they also have the, I don't want to say cosmetic description, the lore. They have the lore attached to the description, which can be a little bit confusing, but typically they have the top the very top paragraph is what it does, and then the very bottom part of the paragraph the bottom very part of the paragraph tells you how many times you can use it or whatever. So for instance, you have the grenades. It'll tell you, unlike other weapons in this class, this grenade is not intended to damage but rather to immobilize enemies. And then it goes on to tell you more about it. The bottom section tells you that it's single use, so it's a consumable. This ordinary oil vial, it tells you what it does. A lot of times it can be really confusing. Basically, for those of you, I'm not going to get into every single item, but I do want you to understand that this ordinary vial here, what it does is it slowly replenishes your health over a certain amount of seconds. You can increase the duration of that slow amount of health endurance, or increase whatever, but you can do that in the materials or on the Vestal. I'll show you that later. At the bottom of this, you can also see that it says single use, so this is a consumable. The oral barrette is basically your HP flask that you get in the Eldenring. Simple, pretty easy. You can also upgrade this as well. Moving forward, installation elixirs, you get all different types of elixirs, grenades, vials, which the vials are these types of resistance vials are pretty much you can drink it and you get a certain amount of resistance to one of the alchemical elements for a certain amount of time. Same thing when it comes to like endurance, you get certain vials that increases your level of endurance. You can see a lot of that kind of stuff in Eldenring as well. You drink it so that way you get increased resistance or increased, health for a certain period of time. The compass is actually very useful, which I didn't start using until recently. I didn't notice how much I would get lost in the game, and the compass is actually very helpful. I think that you don't need to equip the compass, and I'll explain equipping in just a second. You don't necessarily need to equip the compass all the time, but when you do want to go and complete certain side missions or whatever, it's definitely helpful. To continue on, you have the disassembly token, which allows Aegis to return to the last Vestal. If you use it, you're going to lose all your animal essence. So that's essentially just like I'm not sure. I've never used it a day in my life on Elden, but it's essentially like that same item that you can just use to go back and you lose all your essence to get out of anything quickly. So equipping these, you have 6 equipable spots. In Elden Ring, your equipable spots are going to be like, you have the top. If you press up or whatever your button is, if you're on controller or keyboard, you press up for like your magic, for your incantations and your like that stuff. You press your left for your left weapon or right for your right hand weapon. But the bottom is where you hold all of your equipment. You have, I believe, 10 or 12. I'm not looking at the screen right now. So when you have, I believe, 10 or 12 different equipments that you can equip down there. You have your main 3, which is going to be your HP flask, your health flask, or your FP flask, and then your mixer, your combined flask. Here you only have 6 items. This is your quick access belt, so it's just quickly go through these little items to be able to equip. I maintain my barrette, my oil vial to slowly replenish, and then besides that, I change out anything else depending on the area that I'm in. So I will typically, if I know I'm in an area where I take a lot more lightning or fulmination damage, I'm going to equip the fulmination resistance vial, and then I always try and have grenades equipped. I couldn't think of the word. Attached. Equipped. I always try and have the fulmination grenades equipped. These little squares that you see, these granite cobblestones, I use those to throw at enemies to draw their attention when I know that there's a lot of enemies. Like I said before, I have a lot of issues with the auto lock system, locking onto a bunch of enemies, so I try and draw certain enemies out by just throwing it at them. So that's the quick access belt. The quest items are just different quest items. So these are like your key items in Elden Ring that once you get, you have it forever. And so sometimes you can use them, sometimes they only open one specific thing. So eventually I'll be able to use like the 2 that you see here, the key to the gate of the Volcan Song residence and a remnant of a dancer. And just so that you get your materials. So a lot of your materials are going to be stuff to help you either level up your weapons or your modules, which we'll talk about the modules in a second. Like the cast iron, that helps me level up weapons. The business box helps me level up weapons, and the module key is for unlocking or upgrading my modules. So that's the inventory. Next over, we see modules. Modules are the same thing as what do you call them? As talisman in Elden Ring. So you have 4 talisman slots on Elden Ring, as here you have 4 module slots, if that makes sense. Okay, so very same thing. However, in Elden Ring, you cannot upgrade your talisman slot Okay, so for instance, in Elden Ring, you have the Crimson Amber Medallion Talisman. So you have, that is the base one. Then you can find one that's +1. You can find one that's +2. Not all of the talisman in Elden Ring are obviously +1, +2. And not all of them do they have upgrades, and not all of them have plus to upgrade. Some of them have just different names to upgrade them. But you can find upgraded talisman in Elden Ring. There's a similar thing here. You can find an upgraded module in Steelrising. So just to keep it basic, let's just move forward. So you see right now I have grade 2, so that's an upgraded version of a module. So grade 2 fulmination resistance module, and then I can also have a grade 1 and grade 3 fulmination module, which I'm not sure if I've found one yet. No, I have not found a grade 1 fulmination module just yet, but you can find upgraded ones. Okay, so you'll know what the upgrade is by the grade and then the number. So you have grade 1s, you have grade 2s as well, you have grade 3s as well. So you find 1 through 3, and those are your grades that you can have for the modules. Now that you kind of understand that talisman can be found to upgrade, and you can find upgraded modules in Steelrising, we're gonna go back here. In order to utilize an upgraded module, you have to unlock that module and then upgrade it, if that makes sense. So in order to use a grade 2 module, you have to have a slot that is at least at level 2 or grade 2 in order to be able to use it. Now you can use modules that are lower. So for instance, we see here I have 3 slots that are level 2 and 1 slot that is level 1. For slot A, B, and C, A, B, and C, A, B, and C, A, B, and C. Did I say that right? I think I did say that right. For slots A, B, and C, you can see that I can use any of these, but I cannot use my 1 grade 3 module. However, I can use my grade 1 modules as well. In Elden Ring, you cannot upgrade your talisman slot. If you have a talisman that is upgraded, you can use that regardless. So this kind of helps you find and do more progression, which I do actually appreciate. So my slot D is only level 1, so obviously I cannot use my grade 2s or grade 3s. However, do understand that you have to use these module keys smartly. If I haven't found any grade 3 modules yet, or if I don't have any grade 3 modules that I want to specifically use, I'm not going to use the 5 module keys that it takes in order to upgrade. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But those are modules, that's the slots, the upgrades, and all that kind of good stuff. Next, we have the journal, which the journal is pretty much all of the intel you can potentially get. In Elden Ring, you don't see all the side quests, you don't see the main quest guides, you don't see any of the notes, you don't see anything like that in Elden Ring. It's all completely open world and very much unguided. However, on Steelrising, you get to see what's going on in the main quest. You get to see where you might need to go, and also that compass complements these different things as well. You get to see those different side quests that you have started and the side quests that you have completed as well, which I have not completed any of them. I've only started some of them. These are the ones that are just in progress. Addition to that, you get to see echoes, which are, I believe, these are the people that you walk around and you can hear them talking and interacting within the doors. You can interact with them sometimes. Addition to that, you find the notes. Obviously, these are notes just like the notes that you find on the ground, or some of the cutscenes that you might get, royal proclamations. You can go back and see any of those kinds of things. Codex are just pretty much the different characters and enemies that you come across. So obviously main characters, if you need a refresher on who is, because a lot of times they talk about Ujan de Vaucanson, and if you want more information on his lore, the Athenas, the Vaucanson, and the royal family, the different places, all these kinds of things to help you understand where you need to go. Or sometimes you hear a name and you forget who it is that's talking about, because there's so many Vaucansons and there's so many. This is where you can go to figure out, okay, he was talking about him. Also the automats, which you can tell, the different types of enemies, gives pictures. These are all the different guys that you come across, so that way you can see. It's pretty nice. There's other games that have, different codexes just like this. I believe like God of War has something just like that. And also then you get a guide to all the different attacks that you have unlocked up to that point. So you can find that all here in your journal. Super easy. Map of Paris. This is just pretty much your big map, right? Your big map that you can see where you're going to teleport to. You can see where the main quest is lying. You can see where certain side characters and enemies are. Like I said, there's a lot of role-play games that have this. Elden Ring itself, it has a big map, and it has maps where you can see where, you know, main or where side enemies are, but it will not have main quest markers. However, like on Elden, the Vestals do show up here, but the Vestals don't show up on this map, if that makes sense. Okay, now you can open these different, you can open up these different ones just to kind of see more information about what's there, what there's main quests or anything like that, but that's about all the information that it gives you, main quests and whatnot. Last but not least are the statistics, and once again, if you have not seen that stats menu or that stats that attributes video that I did, make sure you go ahead and watch that. Coming over to the Vestal, which I said is just like a grace, I want to quickly go over these. So the first thing you have is upgrades. This is where you can upgrade your attributes, upgrade your module slots. Like I said, you can see how many keys that it takes to upgrade. It takes one, you need one module key to unlock any module. From there it takes 3, from there it takes 5. I'm not sure how many more it takes past that, but I do believe it caps off at level 3 for the modules. To continue from there, you can upgrade your weapons. Upgrading your weapons requires a few different things. You need anima essence, which is like your souls. You need bronze ingots, which are like your smithing stones, or your somber smithing stones. Only thing is here for all of these, for all the weapons, you need bronze ingots first, and then from there you need cast irons. You upgrade even more. Then you need business blocks. Upgrade even more. You need orichalcum, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, or the seal of orichalcos. Easter egg if you guys. No, whatever. Okay, and then so it goes up as you, so it makes it kind of easier to understand. I do not believe, because I have not found enough weapons yet, but I do not believe that there is any different level of upgradable materials per weapon. Like you have your regular smithing style weapons, and then you have your, which go up to plus 25 in Elden Ring, and then you have your somber stone weapons in Elden Ring, which go up to plus 10. I do not believe that there's any separation like that. I just believe there are progressible items for each weapon as you upgrade each weapon. So that way it makes it kind of easier. You get streamlined. You can see exactly what you're going to need in order to upgrade that next weapon. Again, over the characteristics, I talked about that in that one video. Okay, so last but not least is the beret. So the beret is that oil beret that recharges your health. Not the one that charges your health over time. It's the one that recharges your health. So just like the HP flask in Elden Ring. Now, we're going to think about this. In Elden Ring, we have the HP flask, we have the FP flask, and we have the flask of wondrous fit, the mystic or the mixed one, right? So ignore the mystic one, the flask of wondrous, and ignore the FP. We don't have those two here, okay? So we don't have that HP flask. So that's what this is. Now, in Elden Ring, you have golden seeds, and then you also have sacred tears. The golden seeds in Elden Ring increases the number of flasks that you can hold, right? And then the sacred tear increases the amount that flasks restore you. So for instance, you find a golden seed, now you brought your amount of flasks from 7 to 8. You find a sacred tear, now the amount that the sacred tear that flask upgrades is from 70% to 80% or so. Here we have the number of doses and the number of potencies. And since we only have one style of replenishing, you find a golden seed, which is equivalent to the Lavoisier catalyst, then it just automatically updates your number of doses from whatever to the next one. That makes sense. So golden seed, catalyst, upgrade the number of doses. And then when it comes to potency, you have your sacred tear. Sacred tear increases the amount of replenishment per flask. What is here, sacred tear, subliminator. The subliminator then increases the amount of health restored. So if that makes sense, that makes sense. You can find these in the world. Normally I find these around like final areas and within a specific world or environment. All right. So that's the upgrade. The boutique is pretty much where you can buy all of your equipment, all the items that you might need for your quick access belt. You can find these, and as you increase in the storyline and you find more vestals, more of these are released to you. Just so that you can purchase different equipment, so weapons and armor here. Additionally, you can find different modules here as well. You can buy upgraded modules and whatnot. And last but not least, you can find the materials that you need to upgrade your weapons here, and to also upgrade your modules here. Aside from also purchasing, you can also sell here. You can sell any of the items that you currently have here that are sellable. You cannot obviously sell something that you don't have. For instance, I don't have you cannot sell modules, I believe. you cannot sell module keys, so that's why you don't see like my module key here, even though I do have 2 module keys. I cannot sell it here. So that makes sense to you. That makes sense. I guess you cannot sell bronze ingots, but you can purchase these 2 over here. Now, with that being said, while you're at the Vestal, excuse me, you can check out any of your equipment, any of your items to see, so that way you don't have to back out, which is something I really appreciate about Steelrising. Is in Eldenring, if you're at a grace, you have to back out of the grace, stand up, and then check your equipment to see how it changes, or see if you want to change anything. But you can change everything while sitting at the Vestal, and then go in and upgrade and whatnot. You cannot upgrade in the equipment section, obviously, but you can go back out and change all those different things there, if all that makes sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this guide of the menu, especially Elden Ring style, has helped you guys out. If it has helped you out, go ahead and leave a like. If you guys have any feedback, any comments, anything to add, or something that you noticed was wrong, or anything you guys think I need to improve on, I would love to hear in the comment section down below. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But guys, go ahead and check out this video where I do break down all the different things about the attributes. You guys are gonna love it. I appreciate you guys for being here and hanging out. Have a beautiful goddamn day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.